How to deal with a narcissistic husband. This is a gentle real-life guide for women. Now, to watch more videos like this one, don't forget to visit my YouTube channel, Dr. Sami Baya, and watch as many videos as possible and share these videos widely to all those who may need it. Now, how to deal with a narcissistic husband. A gentle real-life guide for women. Living with a narcissistic husband can feel like living inside a storm that never fully settles. One day he is loving, charming, and attentive. The next day he is cold, critical, distant, or angry. You may feel confused, exhausted, and constantly questioning yourself. You might ask yourself, did I do something wrong? Why does he change so fast? Am I too sensitive? Or is this really happening? Now, if this sounds familiar, please know this first. You are not crazy. You're not weak. You're not alone. Many women live with partners who show narcissistic traits, and the emotional toll can be very heavy. Now, the good news is that understanding what's happening gives you power, clarity, and choice. Now, let's break this down in simple, honest, and compassionate way. How do you deal with this narcissistic husband? Quickly, we know that narcissists are selfish, self-centered individuals. They use them, they discard you. They're master manipulators. They only care about themselves. So who is a narcissistic husband in simple terms? Many people think the word narcissist describes someone who's only selfish, someone who's only self-centered, someone who's only emotionally unavailable. Yes, this is partly true, but we know that narcissism exists on a spectrum. What we mean is that there are different levels of narcissism. We have some husbands who show narcissistic traits, like needing constant praise, constant admiration, constant recognition, validation, attention. We have these husbands who refuse to admit fault, but sometimes they may not be fully narcissists. They may not be too narcissistic. But we have husbands who may meet the clinical definition of narcissistic personality disorder. We have husbands who are full-blown narcissists. So, in everyday life, a narcissistic husband is someone who puts his needs above everyone else. A narcissistic husband is someone who struggles to care about your feelings. A narcissistic husband is someone who needs constant admiration, attention, praise, recognition, acknowledgement. A narcissistic husband is someone who becomes very angry or defensive when challenged. A narcissistic husband who is someone who feels entitled to special treatment. They believe they are special, unique, and more important than everybody else. Now, on the outside, the narcissistic husband may look confident and very powerful. But on the inside, they carry deep insecurity, fear of shame, and a fragile ego, mostly formed early in their life. So, why living with a narcissistic husband can be so draining? Being married to a narcissist isn't just difficult. It is emotionally exhausting. Over time, many women notice painful changes in themselves. The relationship stops feeling safe or loving. That is one of the reasons why living with a narcissistic husband is so draining. You may feel like the relationship revolves around him, his moods, his needs, his opinions, and your happiness slowly fades into survival mode. For example, you may stop sharing your thoughts because every conversation turns into an argument or gets dismissed. Living with a narcissistic husband is draining because of constant conflicts, which become normal, part of the relationship. Disagreements happen in every marriage, but with a narcissistic husband, even small issues can explode into big fights. You gently say, for example, that comment hurt me. And suddenly the narcissistic husband will be yelling, accusing you of being ungrateful or dramatic. The other reason why living with a narcissistic husband is so draining is that you start feeling isolated. Narcissistic partners often pull their spouses away from friends and family, sometimes subtly, sometimes openly. For example, He complains every time you visit your sister or says your friends are bad influences. They'll want to isolate you from everyone. A narcissistic husband, living with them is so draining because your mental health will suffer. You'll live in constant tension, and this can lead to anxiety, to depression, to panic attacks, or emotional numbness. For example, you may feel nervous when you hear his car arrive when he comes from work and you hear him drive or pull in outside your house, outside the house, in the parking. You get nervous. You become unsure which version of him is coming home. Again, living with a narcissistic husband is so draining because money problems will always appear. Narcissists feel entitled. They may overspend. They may misuse joint finances. They depend heavily on your income without concern for consequences. Narcissistic husbands, living with them is so draining because your self-esteem will slowly break down. There will be repeated criticism, insults, or subtle put-downs, which will chip away at your confidence. For example, he may joke that you're not very smart or compare you to other women. Then they will say you are too sensitive when you react. Living with a narcissistic husband is so draining because you'll feel emotionally exhausted all the time. Trying to keep peace, trying to avoid arguments, and trying to meet his expectations will drain your energy and joy. So, how does a narcissistic husband typically treat his wife? Most relationships with a narcissist follow a certain cycle. Stage 1 will be love bombing. At the beginning, he may treat you like a queen. Constant compliments, affections, promises, and attention. Stage 2, there'll be devaluing. Over time, the affection fades. Criticism begins. You're no longer perfect in his eyes. Stage 3 is about control and confusion. After hurting you, he may briefly return to being sweet, just enough to keep you hoping. This emotional roller coaster keeps many women stuck, confused, and longing for the man he once seemed to be. Now, what are the common signs of a narcissistic husband? A narcissistic husband lacks empathy for your feelings. They rarely apologize. He'll blame you for his mistakes. He'll overreact to even mild criticism. He'll brag constantly. He'll dominate conversations. He will be obsessed with appearances. He'll feel jealous of your success. He'll use charm to manipulate you. He doesn't respect boundaries. He gets easily offended. He'll gaslight you. He'll tell you that never happened. He lacks emotional closeness. He feels entitled to everything. He expects you to adjust your life around him. Now, can a narcissistic husband change? Let me tell you, this is one of the hardest truths to accept. Real change is very, very, very difficult. Real change is rare with a narcissistic husband. It can only happen. It's only possible if he truly wants it. A narcissistic husband can only change if they want to change. That means they can only change if they take responsibility, if they seek long-term therapy, if they face painful inner issues. Unfortunately, many narcissists don't believe they're the problem. So how do you deal with a narcissistic husband? Let me give you some few powerful tips. Number 1, set clear boundaries. Decide what behavior you will and won't accept and stick to it. For example, you can say, I will not stay in the room if you insult me. And if they insult, don't stay in the room. Number 2, don't engage in every argument. Not every fight deserves your energy. Calm silence can be powerful. Number 3, take care of yourself. Your joy matters. Rest, hobbies, friendships, and peace are not luxuries. They are survival tools. Number 4, get support. Talk to someone who understands. Friends, family, support groups, or a therapist. Number 5, learn about narcissism. Knowledge helps you to stop blaming yourself. Number 6, stop expecting the narcissistic husband to change. Focus on what you can control, your reactions, choices, and boundaries. Number 7, practice emotional detachment. His words do not define your worth. Number 8, use the grey rock method. Be calm, brief, and emotionally neutral when needed. And number 9, document abusive behavior. This protects you and helps you see patterns clearly. And number 10, consider your future. If the relationship becomes unsafe or unbearable, choose yourself. That is not selfish, it's necessary. Now, living with a narcissistic husband can slowly erase your sense of self. But you can reclaim it. You deserve respect, peace, emotional safety, love that doesn't hurt. If nothing changes and your health is suffering, seeking help or even planning an exit can be an act of courage, not failure. You are not weak for staying. You are not wrong for leaving. And you're never alone. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not done so. And share this video widely to all those who may need it.